Alright, welcome back to the channel. Not done anything for ages. I've been having a sorter out. I'll show you around this garage. The other garage, I'm in the middle of tidying. I'll show you what I'm up to at the moment. So, I got ages ago one of the Metz bead rollers. I don't even know where I've got the bits for it, but they're somewhere anyway, the rollers. Yeah, so I got the bead roller quite a long time ago and the shrinker stretcher, and I've wanted to mount them for ages but never got around to doing it. So I thought, while I'm clearing the garage out, I'm just going to do it as I go. So I've actually bought myself this is how much of a tip it is at the moment, a proper 240 volt and air tyre machine. So I no longer need the manual tyre machine. So I've used the frame, which is really strong on there, to mount, and then box sectioned off with scrap the bead roller, put a piece of angle on the top to mount the shrinker stretcher, and then what I've done is I've used a socket fitting chopped in half. So I've got the top half there with a hole in the bar, bottom half there, and it does sit at just a slight angle, but I'll show you now. Rather than having to push it down, I've put a bit of scrap box section, and it does its full force down. I've used 2 trampoline springs from a trampoline we took down ages ago, and the way that I've welded a knot on that end, a knot on that end, you can undo that and it actually comes out, and then you can slide this off. I had a piece of steel tube or thick steel bar that just fitted in the bit of the tyre properly, and then obviously that mounting's for the old arm. So what my next project is obviously I've not filmed any of that, is I wanted to make an automatic bead roller, and there's so many different options out there that I wasn't too sure what to do. So what I've ended up with, my garage door motor went faulty. It managed to lose all the pre-settings. So I've got a garage door motor here, the old one. I've wired it up just to make sure I can get it going, so it's just on a plug at the moment. I have ordered some foot pedals so I can have forward and reverse. Then bought, this is the only thing I actually bought, a couple of motorcycle cogs, chain, and a split link. So what the idea is, I'm going to put that back on there, which is what it comes with. You can pick these up brand new, 50 quid as well. I paid about 20 quid or 25 quid for all of the chain and the sprockets. My idea is I'm going to bolt that, it's got 2 holes in it, onto there with washers, and mount that where the arm used to be, which I'll show you now. Right, so I've just been and got it. So this is the drive arm here for the bead roller. So obviously take this off here and get the cog on there. So I'll probably weld that on, to be fair. So there's some ribs on the inside of this aluminium piece, which obviously I need to miss. These sprockets are threaded, so I can bolt through from the back. So I do need to get the holes in the right place. I am going to need to put a couple of washers just underneath. So I'll come back to you once I've got holes drilled, washers underneath, and enough clearance obviously for the chain to sit. Right, so I've managed to drill out the back. I've put 2 nuts in so that it could clear the opening. I'll pop that on there. The bolts that I've used allow it to clear. So what I'll do now, I'll just plug it in and show you the theory of what I'm doing. So I've got a plug there, switch it off, so the whole thing turns, you see. I've actually got a variable speed adapter for 240 sockets that I got from eBay a few years ago, hoping the nuts that I put through will be strong enough, but I imagine they will be. But they can always be upgraded, maybe even before putting, but this is just a proof of concept at the moment. Then if you have a look at where I've got the wire in there, where the brown is on its own there, that'll have its own supply, so when you take your foot off the one side, it'll do the reverse, so it'll go in reverse as well. So I'll turn that off for now, unplug it, and then what we need to do is fit the one side back on and figure out whereabouts we're mounting it to. So I'll do that now. Alright, so I've mounted the sort of drive wheel on there, and I've loosely rested this on. Now this doesn't move, but obviously the end bit does, and this end, if that end isn't, well, if that end isn't supported, it'll start to try and spin, so I need to weld the bracket onto there. What I think I'm actually going to try and do though is just weld that directly on there. I think that's probably going to be my best bet, and move that across. So I'll give that a whirl now, I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, so I've got that welded on. Just done it on the inside for now. Sorry, not the phone off then. Yes, I've just done it on the inside, because that way it can be cleaned off. I hope it'll be okay. Just need to figure out now a way of getting that end mounted there, somewhere probably just off like that, or maybe if I do it just underneath it'd be better, because I need a method of being able to adjust it down so I can tighten the chain up. So I'll have a think about that and I'll come back to you. Alright, so far just extended that box section over so I can make some sort of mount there, probably a flat panel maybe with some bolt holes, but I'm thinking that end can possibly, in fact no, I'll probably make that sliding. This side, I just need something to go round there and then be supported up maybe on a bolt so that it can drop up and down. The top of the tyre machine is here. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite go over, so what I'm going to do is just take maybe 2 inches off, drop it in the bandsaw there, split it down the front with the grinder, open it up, and then weld a bolt to it, and hopefully that'll work. Let's get the bandsaw on the go. Let's just open the hydraulics, get it down to a rough position. Best, got this for 80 quid off Facebook Marketplace, best 80 quid I've spent that. Oil cooled as well, but I'm not really, in fact probably will have to for this. Put an oil through. Just a bit of a drip. Leave it to do its thing. Honestly, one of my favourite things. I bought that. Cuts itself off and everything, and the cut is just phenomenal. Considering how thick that is, that's real time, dead quick. Just need to get a hammer and chisel now, pry that apart, and hopefully make it fit on the end. Starting to lose the light now, and the lights don't come on, so it gets a bit darker, but hoping that I've just enough now. See, it's relatively tight, so what I need to figure out now is the best way of doing this. Alright, so this is the sort of crude setup I've come up with. So I've got a piece of old bar, welded a couple of nuts on with a couple of bolts in, and then a solid bar that slides inside and out of. So I've got the adjustment, I can take it up and down, and we can come side to side to meet the angle. What I now need to do, needs dropping down because it's resting up at the moment, but basically work out a way of getting this onto there. Right, this is what I've come up with for the other side. So all weights bench, probably keep that length on there for when I put the little table in. Obviously that'll stop me hitting anything. Probably chop that off there. Let's plug her in and see if it's still working. Spinning nice and slowly. It angles up ever so slightly, so we can adjust that down. So I'm gonna see if I can get the chains fitted now. Right, so I've got it on and running. The only thing that's causing the problem is, see the link there, just coming around, it's catching. So I'm gonna have to swap the link to the other side. Right, so I've just swapped the chain over. Literally just flipped it from one side to the other. It's now working flawlessly. Got plenty of adjustment. Obviously need to get smaller bolts for there, or chop them ones down. That one there needs shortening, and obviously them two need sorting. The motorbike chain is probably a bit over the top. Need to sort out this bit here. Obviously get the top on, and I want to put some sort of T-bar handle on there as well. But as you can see, seems to be working pretty well, and the speed's quite nice as well. So knock it off for now. So I've just swapped the chain over. Just show you it. Running around now, not catching. Nice and firm. I mean, the motor does get quite hot. It's a garage door motor, I don't think it's designed for it. I've not gone too tight. As you can see, there's still a bit of flex in there. I've got the other pieces on. I've not mounted anything properly yet. I've just heated up a bolt and pushed it through there. Still need to just epoxy the other side there, but it's working decent, so I don't have to use tools rather than the bolt it came with. I've just used my shearer at another Facebook marketplace find. Just cut through some like mill steel, dead easy, 40 quid I paid for that. And I've put a piece of steel somewhere. So this is pretty thick, and I'll just show you how easy it is to feed through. And as I say, this isn't set up or anything yet. There we go. Obviously a bit wobbly, but got a nice bead on. Obviously tighten it in a bit more to go a bit deeper. So if we do that now, in fact it didn't do it very much that, because I didn't even have it tightened in, did I? So that's now a lot tighter, as you can see. And it's actually following the route itself pretty much that I did before. Got an even prouder bead on that. And go one notch more. See the taut, how taut the motor is there. But it's doing it absolutely fine. And then look at that. Bang on that. So at the moment, I'm just on the live neutral and earth, as you can see, and then I've got a spare live. So when I get the foot pedal, I'll put them down there next to the leg. I'll have them so that they can maybe lift up, or maybe put them on the left hand side. But it's coming on. Just need to chop that off there. Decide what I'm doing here. To be honest with you, now it's manual. Now it's automatic. I don't think I'm going to need anywhere to rest it on, so I can just feed it through. Obviously, the threaded bar is totally removable if I've got bigger pieces, but it's coming on well. Right, so just a quick one. It's next day now. Just giving it all, well, I've obviously disassembled it, giving it all a lick of grey paint. I've welded on some bolts to put the different adapters on, so I can put them in pairs as well. Right, so the foot pedals are here. I wasn't going to show this section, but I might do a little workshop tour here. This is my electrical workshop. I've got do a little bit of work on like game gears. Got a Game Boy somewhere, putting a new screen in, which is there. It's only a cheap setup, so I've got a microscope, power bank, obviously lights, soldering station. It's only cheap, but does the job anyway. I've got two foot pedals. I've opened them up and I've linked one through to the other, and I've used the off section, so you can't turn one on when the other's on, if you know what I mean. So I can go forward and reverse, but I can't accidentally press both down and send the power line down both sides. So I'm just waiting for the hot glue gun to heat up so I can just glue the wires in place out the way of where the spring mechanism goes, and then I'm deliberating over what to put on the end so that I can get it into the system, whether to hardwire the pedals in or whether maybe even just put them on a 240 plug socket. But I'll have a think about it, and I'll show you when I've decided. I'm going to try my best to get this in fully. So I've got the two pedals connected together. I've got 3 wires coming out, so we've got the common going in, we've then got the power to forward and reverse, whichever way around I decide them to be, and then obviously the 2 pedals. If I don't know why that's just come off. I've just knocked that off. Soldering hot air. So if I put the continuity onto there, and I've got it in beat mode, and that one is either forward or reverse, but it doesn't do anything on the other side, so I can't make a connection back to the motor. If I swap that over now, no connection on that side, but connection on that side. So obviously we're going to have, I'll probably have that as forward, because that's going to, I'm right footed or right handed as well, so that will have us forward and that will have us reverse. So that's that section done now. I need to just figure out how I'm going to make the connection. I may just have it in like a junction box with some Wago connections, because that's nice and easy, and just have it on there, something like an extension lead maybe, but I'll see. Right, just an update on the end. So filled it with resin, so I've got a flatter finish on the nuts. I've put nuts on each side, washers, obviously the sprocket, and then I've put some, little focus, nylock washers just on the top. I've just used some Wago connectors for now on the plug socket. I need to put a longer line in for the plug socket, sorry, for the plug, and I'd like to figure out some sort of way of making just a plug-in connection so that I can detach the 2 foot pedals and the power together, but it only needs to be 3 pin because it just needs, sorry, 4 pin, so it needs 4 connections into the motor. But I'll show you where I'm up to now, so it's pretty much done. So I've got foot pedals there, show you the rollers. Right hand side foot pedal drives us that way, which is going to be, the idea is I want to feed it from this side, so that'll work right. And then the left hand side foot pedal is the opposite direction. If I show you how well the chain's running, you get it just above, it's running just about perfectly. Let's give it a go. Sorry about that. So I'll just tighten it up, half turn, we'll go back through. I think I'm going to try and do a fold. Right, so as you can see, I got this a while ago, and it's a variable speed regulator. I think it's saying it does up to 4,000 watts, which I'm not convinced about. It does tell you the voltage. So basically, if I plug that in to the socket, plug the power into this, I should be able to regulate the speed. So we'll give that a go. So we're showing 237 volts, and this is on max. I'll turn it down. Jumps up to 257, then 262. Got quite a lot of voltage in our area. So turn up full. So on full, we're spinning pretty much the normal speed. We'll turn it down a bit. Let's see if it actually turns. Doesn't seem much different to me, to be honest. What I'll do, I'll keep my foot on it and we'll adjust it. Oh, it is making a difference. That's as slow as it will go. So if I put it on that, so we're at around about between 12 and 13 on the number, and we're at that speed. So if I spin it up now to max, it does make a difference. So we'll drop it back to 12 to 13. Staying running. Let's see if I can spin a piece of metal through at that speed. We'll use the same piece, obviously one-handed this time. It's actually affecting the torque of it, so it won't take it in. Turn it up to say, what's that, about 15. Let's see if it'll take it in now. Yeah, so at 15 it takes it in. A little bit slower. If I turn that back up to full now, so you can see the speed difference. not massively different, but I suppose on thinner sheets of steel it would make a difference. There we go. So as you can see, there is a way of regulating the speed, although because this is relatively slow, it's not going to make a huge difference. Now, I did say I'd give you the rating on it, and I'll just see if I can actually get you in and see. It runs at 12 revolutions a minute, and it's got 50 Newton meters of torque for 4 minutes, and it's 200 watts. So if you are looking to do a similar thing, and I'd say it's quite an easy one, about £50 off eBay for the door motor, £20-ish for the 2 sprockets and chain, and then I've literally used scrap that I had, as you can tell, to make it. I don't know how much the voltage regulators are. I think that was maybe 15 quid at the time, and I think the foot pedals about £7 each. I do need to figure out a more permanent way of doing the connection, so I need like a 4-pin just plug-in connector, male and female, to sort that out. I want something sort of quite nice and neat, so I'll look out for something like that, and then at the same time I'll extend the plug socket. So that wraps up this video. Any questions, let me know, but it's decent modification. It's took me about 3 or 4 days in the evenings, doing a couple of hours here and there to finish it. Looks okay.